Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep, literally, into a highly classified world. We all know governments keep secrets, right? But the sheer scale of the shadow infrastructure built right beneath our feet, it's absolutely mind-bending. We're going to explore exactly why these massive facilities were built, what actually goes on inside them, and crucially, whether they're truly ready for the unimaginable scenarios they were designed to face.
Picture this. You wake up, your cell phone is buzzing like crazy, and every TV broadcast is hijacked by a terrifying alert: national emergency. Seek shelter immediately. Outside, military jets are just roaring overhead. You turn on the news only to watch the president suddenly vanish onto Air Force One. Key officials drop completely off the grid, and the entire nation goes into absolute lockdown. It's the ultimate nightmare scenario, right? The moment when every normal rule of society gets suspended in the blink of an eye. You're just left standing there, staring at the sky, wondering what on earth just happened.
Which naturally brings us to the big question: where exactly do our leaders disappear to when the unimaginable happens? Well, hidden beneath America's mountains and tucked behind heavily guarded gates are some of the most secure, multi-billion-dollar underground complexes ever built by human hands. And look, we're not talking about your average backyard storm cellar here. These are absolute subterranean fortresses. They're designed to keep the U.S. government breathing even if the world above completely stops. They are literal architectural marvels hidden right under our noses, built to withstand the end of days. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of these places, we have to rewind to the Cold War. As nuclear arsenals started swelling, leaders were faced with this grim mathematical reality. An intercontinental ballistic missile could obliterate Washington, D.C. in less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes! I mean, that's less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite sitcom. If the president and military commanders were wiped out in one sudden flash, the country would instantly fall into irreversible chaos. There'd be no one to mount a defense or guide the survivors, so the stakes, they literally could not have been higher.
And that terrifying vulnerability birthed the anchor concept for this entire explainer: continuity of government. Think of it as the ultimate national insurance policy. It's the strategic mission ensuring that no matter what apocalyptic scenario unfolds above ground, the government can survive, coordinate military responses, and actually lead. The goal wasn't just to go hide in a cave somewhere. It was to ensure the nation could still throw a punch and function, even from deep inside a mountain. It's a fascinating, if slightly grim, doctrine. This idea that the American state absolutely must endure, no matter the cost, even if the capital is reduced to ashes.
Just take the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado, for example. The sheer brute force engineering here is just mind-boggling. They carved a literal city directly into solid granite just to shrug off megaton explosions. We're talking about massive 25-ton steel blast doors that seal the whole complex completely shut. And get this is crazy. The buildings inside don't even touch the walls of the cave. They sit on these enormous 1,000-pound shock-absorbing springs designed to ride out the seismic shockwaves of a direct nuclear hit. Inside, it's a completely self-sustaining ecosystem. It's got its own power grid, its own underground water reservoir, the whole shebang. All built specifically to sit out the apocalypse while continuing to monitor North American airspace.
Then, over in Virginia, Mount Weather takes this preparedness a whole step further. This facility has long been the shadowy heart of continuity of government planning. See, it doesn't just track airspace. It operates as a massive emergency operations center. It's packed with highly secure offices, robust communication grids, and fully equipped medical facilities. Mount Weather is, for all intents and purposes, a backup capital. Rumor has it they even have their own independent police and fire departments down there. The whole thing is built so that the essential gears of society, the agencies, the administrators, the critical decision-makers, can just keep turning seamlessly during a catastrophic emergency.
And finally, we have the Raven Rock Mountain Complex. Hidden deep underground near the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, it's earned one of the most fitting nicknames in military history: the Underground Pentagon. It serves as the ultimate failsafe for the Department of Defense. So if the actual Pentagon is compromised, heavily damaged, or just reduced to rubble, Raven Rock steps right in. The entire focus here is absolute connectivity. It's about ensuring military leadership stays informed, connected to global forces, and capable of making world-altering decisions in the darkest moments imaginable. It's basically the nervous system of the military, heavily armored and buried beneath tons of solid rock.
Okay, so how does this actually play out in real time? Well, the moment intelligence agencies detect an incoming threat, this highly choreographed split-second dance begins. Step 1, detect the threat.
Within moments, Step 2 kicks in, triggering emergency protocols to instantly relocate the president and senior officials to these secure underground locations. And simultaneously, Step 3 activates hardened backup communications and satellites, turning assets like Air Force One into a floating command fortress. I mean, there is no time for debate here. It is an automatic, ruthlessly efficient protocol that snaps into place way before the general public even knows something is wrong.
Now, because of all the intense secrecy surrounding these protocols, myths naturally start to snowball, right? Hollywood absolutely loves to show us these vast subterranean luxury cities where thousands of people live comfortably for years, complete with underground greenhouses, sprawling living quarters, maybe even a gourmet chef. But the classified reality, it's far more pragmatic. There's no luxury resort down there. These are strictly functional, sterile, and frankly, kinda claustrophobic military command centers. It's not about comfort. It is entirely about hardcore survival and maintaining a chain of command. Basically, think more submarine and less five-star hotel.
Of course, the world has changed drastically since these concrete fortresses were first poured back in the 1950s. The threats have fundamentally evolved. We've gone from the brute force physical fear of nuclear strikes in the Cold War era straight into the 2020s, where severe cyber attacks, grid failures, and hypersonic missiles are the primary concern. And looking ahead to the 2040s, we're facing orbital space-based technologies and autonomous AI threats. We're literally moving from a world of falling bombs to invisible code. And that changes the entire survival equation.
Because of this massive shift, building future command centers isn't just about pouring thicker concrete anymore. The modern defense focus has completely pivoted. Today, survival relies heavily on national cybersecurity and protecting digital infrastructure. You need highly resilient energy grids that absolutely cannot be hacked, secure satellite networks, and AI-assisted support just to process the sheer tsunami of incoming data during a crisis. The emergency bunker of the future has to be a digital fortress, just as much as a physical one. After all, what good is a 25-ton blast door if a hacker can remotely shut off your ventilation system from half a world away?
I want to leave you with an incredible paradox to wrap up this explainer. When you really think about it, the greatest success of these bunkers is that they have never actually needed to prove themselves in the catastrophic situations they were built to withstand. They represent decades of meticulous planning and literally billions of dollars spent for scenarios we all hope never, ever happen. Their very existence is a deterrent. But as warfare evolves from physical destruction to invisible cyber and AI threats, it leaves us with one urgent question. Will the impregnable granite bunkers of our past be enough to protect us from the digital apocalypses of our future?